Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Foxy298 here, and welcome back to another episode of my F1 2016 career mode with McLaren Honda. Today, we are here for what is, I believe, round 13 of the Formula 1 season. We are here in Belgium for the Belgian Grand Prix. And as you can see there with the vehicle performance comparison, Red Bull have made some upgrades to their car and they are progressing well. We remain, good, and Williams are starting to fall back. So if we have a look, you can see there, Red Bull, I believe they decreased the drag on their car and did something to their fuel efficiency. I can't remember off the top of my screen. You'll see it on the competitors update section, but there's the vehicle performance comparison site, so we can see that we're currently in 4th behind Red Bull. Of course, they made some upgrades coming into this race. We're trying to save up our resource points to try and go for that engine upgrade to get for the crankshaft, and then for the Singapore Grand Prix then afterwards, we're looking to try and get in as much upgrades as we can before eventually we will be ceasing the R&D development and holding it all off for next season. But if you do enjoy today's video, I hope you guys do. Make sure to drop a like, that'd be absolutely awesome. And if you're new to my channel and you haven't watched a video before, be sure to click subscribe so you never miss a daily upload that I do. And without further ado, we're going to get into the practice sessions for the Belgian Grand Prix and see how we can do. So first of all, we start off with the track acclimatization test, and as you can see here, we've got quite a few greens around the circuit, and a lot of purples as well. It was quite difficult to get a proper lap in, especially through Blanchimont, which you can see I'm coming through now, and then coming towards the bus stop chicane. It was definitely hard for me to try and get everything purple. You saw when I actually went through one of the greens, one of those gates, it gave me green for some stupid reason. I was really confused why it did that, but you can see overall it was a pretty good lap. We got a high score, and we did manage to get the full perfect track acclimatization test there, so we're happy with that. Coming on then to the tyre wear test, as you can see, I've been getting a lot better at doing the tyre wear tests, and I've decided that I'm going to keep on trying to do them now. We got 2 purple laps to start off with, then we got a green lap, and on this lap we got a green lap, but nevertheless we still managed to get the perfect score for the tyre management, which is fine, so we'll be able to carry on with that. Now we move on to the qualifying simulation run here, and as you can see, I'm in a little bit of trouble here because I've actually got Esteban Gutierrez holding me up there through, I believe that's Degna 1, Degna 2. I could be wrong. I know quite a few corner names around Spa, but I just can't remember which ones are which. But as you can see, Gutierrez holding me up massively here on my lap, and it's really throwing me off. So I decided to just lunge it in the bus stop chicane, brake nice and late there, and we got straight past Gutierrez. Hopefully he didn't affect us in trying to get the perfect score, otherwise I will be going to go into Haas and complaining. But luckily we do manage to beat the target score that the team set us for the qualifying simulation, so Gutierrez is off the hook. We don't need to go and have a word with him at Haas. But as you can see, there are the resource points coming in and getting stacked up for us. We are going to be getting, I believe it's about another 200 resource points, 215 resource points, leaving us with 995 resource points. And again, we didn't participate in practice 2 or practice 3 because it was raining, I believe, in those sessions, so we weren't going to learn anything out of it. But we're now going to get a voicemail coming in from Emma, and what she's going to do is now she's going to give us our qualifying goals for the Belgian Grand Prix, and you can see them there on your screens. They're basically always the same. They never really tend to change, to be honest. They're always tend to be the same. But we move on into Q1 then for this Belgian Grand Prix. We brake nice and hard down into the bus stop chicane, nailing the apex on the first corner and on the second corner. A great entrance and exit there from the chicane. We sprint ourselves towards the line. We actually didn't activate DRS coming towards the line. I only just noticed that now. I never noticed that when I was doing my the actual qualifying itself. But as you can see, I'm skipping through the timing screens, and as you can see there, we managed to get ourselves comfortably into Q2 for the Belgian Grand Prix, so no problems there. But you can see it's definitely turned overcast now, and it's going to get difficult for us here in Belgium with the difficult conditions. And as you can see, in Q2 it is intermediate tyres, so it means that we've got intermediate conditions, so we definitely need to be careful as we come around now. As you can see, we're coming and sprinting towards the line to get and set our lap time. We go 3rd fastest with that lap time on the intermediate tyres. It wasn't an amazing lap time. I actually skipped all the way further, and we didn't actually make it into Q3. We only qualified P12. Now the reason for that is because I skipped the timing, but then when I stopped to stop the timing to speed up the time through Q2, I actually ran out of time. I didn't have enough time to go around and set another lap time. So unfortunately, it was a massive mistake on my behalf, completely misjudging the timing, because you can speed up the timing speeds throughout each session, and that's what I do. I speed it up, and then I go for another lap at the end. But unfortunately, I sped it up way too much, didn't concentrate, all my fault. and I didn't manage to try and get another lap in. As you can see, that's affected us massively. And we're only going to be starting P12 for the Belgian Grand Prix, so it's going to be a difficult race for us. We're going to listen to the session goals here from Emma, and she's going to tell us that all's well and done for the Belgian Grand Prix. But that's it for practice and qualifying. Next up is the race for the Belgian Grand Prix.
In the 48 races held at Spa between 1950 and 2015, the race winner has only started from pole position on 16 occasions. Qualifying yesterday may have set the order for today, but expect the unexpected here at the Belgian Grand Prix. As the saying goes, of course, anything can happen. And you know what? It usually does. So here we are once again, ready to go racing through the Ardennes forest. 4.35 miles of long straights, fast corners and massive elevation changes. It makes this not only one of the most exciting circuits on the calendar, but one that makes for some consistently high quality racing as well. Simply put it, there really is no place quite like Spa. Anthony Davidson is alongside me in the commentary box to take you through all the action today. Now, it's a closely matched field here in Spa, Ant, so where do you think we're going to see somebody make a difference?
If they're as close as we're expecting them to be, especially through the midfield, then being able to keep the front tyres in good condition could make the difference. You always lose a chunk of downforce at the front when you're in the turbulent air of another car, which tends to cause understeer, which in turn causes front tyre degradation. Now, too much damage there could force an early pit stop and put you at a slight disadvantage, so the drivers will want to be careful not to be too aggressive early on in the Grand Prix.
Okay, don't worry about making places into one, it's far too tight. Concentrate on a clean exit so you get good momentum down the Camel Straight.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and Nico Rosberg completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Raikkonen, Vettel, Max Verstappen, and Massa, Ricciardo, Button, Kvyat, and Roman Grosjean, Sainz, and a McLaren, Esteban Gutierrez, and Perez, Nasser, Hülkenberg, Kevin Magnussen, and Valtteri Bottas, Palmer and Wehrlein, Marcus Ericsson, and Rio Haryanto completes the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Alright then guys, so as you can see, we are now ready for the race, and as you can see, it is full wet conditions, and it's going to stay that way for the entire Grand Prix. So, the first time actually in our F1 2016 career mode that we're going to be experiencing full wet weather racing. And of course it gives me Spa as the full wet weather race, which is such a difficult circuit in itself, even on the dry. Now we've got to try and do a whole race in the full wet weather conditions, and it's going to be difficult. It's going to be super difficult. But we're going to be starting in 12th place. We've got Carlos Sainz in front of us, Romain Grosjean next, followed by, I believe that's Danny Kvyat. So a good result for Toro Rosso in qualifying. On 9th and 11th, maybe Sainz could have probably crept himself into Q3, but nevertheless. So the warm-up lap is definitely going to be a lot different. With it being full wet conditions, we're definitely going to be wanting to try and get more tyres into the brakes and everything. But we skip the formation lap and we go straight towards the Belgian Grand Prix. The 5 red lights are on, and it is going to be lights out for the Belgian Grand Prix. A very slow and very gingerly getaway, of course, because of these wet weather conditions. But we eventually get the speed and the traction, go straight past both the Toro Rossos and the Haas car, and we make ourselves going down into last source, going around the outside to try and give us the best exit possible. Daniel Ricciardo squeezes my teammate Jenson Button. Button holds off. We have to move to the right hand side of the circuit. Button and I nearly making contact as we now make the sprint down towards Eau Rouge up this hill. A fantastic corner. We brake nice and early. Super difficult for Eau Rouge in the full wet weather conditions. You can see me sliding all over the shop there, trying to get the car into balance. But Daniel Ricciardo is next on the hit list. We are currently in 8th position now. Jenson Button just sitting in behind us as we now sprint towards this difficult down the Kemmel Straight, and we brake nice and hard there. And Daniel Ricciardo is next on our hit list, and he has been eliminated, and we can get past him as quickly as possible. Felipe Massa being forced wide by Max Verstappen, and we're going to take full advantage of this, going around the outside of Felipe Massa. A great move for us, up into 6th place now, and we're looking towards Max Verstappen. And as you can see, we've got fantastic traction going right around the outside of Max Verstappen. Check that out. Traction for days on Verstappen, and we make a slight bit of contact with him as we try and move ourselves wide. And contact has happened behind due to all of that chaos, and we have made ourselves from 12th on the grid. We are now up into P5. A fantastic start for us in this race. I believe Rosberg leads, Hamilton second, Raikkonen third, Vettel fourth, and I have moved up into 5th place, and a great start for us in this race. And I believe Verstappen is now in 6th. But for some strange reason, his actual dot on the minimap never showed up for like the rest of the race. It just stopped. So you can see the next dot on the minimap behind me is actually my teammate Jenson Button. But for some strange reason, Verstappen's dot didn't show up. So I was relying on the sector times to see how far back Verstappen was. But a brilliant start from us. We took it nice and cautiously going into La Source in turn 1. Actually, I'm not going to talk about the start because I always show the replays at the start, so we can go and analyse the start of this Grand Prix once again once we've come through here. But we go through Blanchimont, you just saw then, and now down into the bus stop chicane, braking nice and heavily, making sure that we nail the apexes, and trying to stay as far away from the white lines as possible because they're definitely going to start making our car slide around more. Lewis Hamilton actually leads the Grand Prix. Sorry, I thought it was Nico Rosberg that was leading, but it's Hamilton that leads from Rosberg, then from Raikkonen, from Vettel, and then myself. And my teammate Jenson Button has made an early pit stop, so obviously some damage to his car, but as you can see then from the lights out there, the Mercedes is getting away nicely from the front row. You can see how we got a gingerly start, and the secondary phase of the start definitely helped us out, and we managed to get past both Toro Rossos and the Haas. Braking nice and early, going around the outside of La Source. There's no point in me diving in on anybody because understeer is just going to be a massive effect. And as you can see, we go alongside Jenson Button, our teammate. We're going down towards Eau Rouge. She then slots in behind us, and we make our way going up Eau Rouge. You can see there, right behind Daniel Ricciardo. Having to take it quite wide. We lost the back end of the car quite rigorously. And we now coming towards down the Kemmel straight here. Kimi Raikkonen actually has a go at Rosberg, whilst Massa has a challenge on Verstappen to see what he can do in the Williams. And then we go round the inside of Daniel Ricciardo there. Very nicely done. Max Verstappen then forces Massa outwards, and that leaves him for dead. And we go and side our way straight through Felipe Massa. And we can go and take over his position. And then with Max Verstappen, I wanted to have a look around the inside. I then decided to go right round the outside because I was going to get more traction and more speed, and you can see it there. We go right round the outside of Verstappen, and then we take the inside line there, and Verstappen sort of cuts onto the circuit, and then he spins Massa around, and I think my teammate Jenson Button actually hit Massa and potentially lost his front wing, which could potentially be the reason why Button came in for that early pit stop, or it could have been contact somewhere else. I'm not 100% sure, but we're coming now through the middle sector of this circuit. We're braking hard now into this right-left chicane. Rosberg actually got overtaken by Kimi Raikkonen, so I didn't actually realise that. I thought Rosberg was in 2nd place, but just having a look at the replay of this start, actually Kimi Raikkonen, when he made the move down the Kemmel Straight, actually got past Nico Rosberg. So a good, fast and fiery start from Ferrari. Hamilton leads, Raikkonen 2nd, Rosberg 3rd, Vettel then was in 4th, and then it's myself in 5th. So confirming the classification. You can already see the top 4 actually making a bit of a run away. You can see there's Raikkonen, there's me, and there's Verstappen. The field is already spread out. Of course, that was obviously due to the spin when Verstappen sort of got forced wide by myself, then he cut back into the circuit, making contact with Felipe Massa, and that spun him around, and that slowed the whole field down, really. A bit lucky on that sense as we come across there to complete the first lap of the Belgian Grand Prix. But we skip all the way ahead now to lap 4 of the Grand Prix, and we're coming up Eau Rouge, and in the full wet conditions, I struggle massively, massive sliding there coming out of Eau Rouge, and that's affecting us horribly down the Kemmel Straight. Max Verstappen sees an opening, he goes to the left-hand side of the circuit, he powers down the Kemmel Straight, but we brake much later than Max Verstappen. Rosberg there making a move on Raikkonen, so the Mercedes driver getting back past Raikkonen. We are fending off Max Verstappen, and we do that perfectly there on lap 4 of this Grand Prix. And I want to try and stop making these mistakes because the top 4 out front are scrapping quite a lot, and if they continue to start fighting, that's going to give us an opportunity to try and close up on them and hopefully make a move and try and increase our position from what we're currently in 5th at the moment. But we skip ahead now to lap 5 of the Grand Prix, and you can see straight in front of us is Kimi Raikkonen. So he's dropped down the order a little bit, but we're catching the Ferraris. The 2 Mercedes drivers seem to have bolted now. They have gone into the distance, but we're catching Ferrari at a vast rate of knots. But you can see we made a mess of that corner there, and now Max Verstappen is going to get even closer to us, and we try and hold him off. And coming through Blanchimont now, Max Verstappen going to go around the outside, just like he did in 2015 to, I believe it was Marcus Ericsson or Felipe Nasser, but we managed to make it stick there, and Verstappen has to back off. And as soon as I defended that position, straight away, Max Verstappen was told, you may be able to hear it on the engineers from this point, Verstappen has got an issue, and I believe it was an ERS problem, so the gods are just with us right now. We've got all the luck at the moment. Verstappen pressurised us. We went round the outside and Blanchimon. We managed to fend him off comfortably. And Verstappen now has an issue, and we have dropped him, and now Ricciardo is next on our hit list. But we're skipping ahead now to lap 7 of the Grand Prix, and nothing else really happened up until towards this point. My pursuit on the Ferraris is still ongoing. I'm trying my hardest. They are scrapping quite a bit, and I'm definitely trying to look towards that. But we've got yellow flags in front of us, and someone's gone off the track. We're braking hard now down into the bus stop chicane. It's not the Ferraris, so it's got to be a Mercedes driver. And it's Rosberg. Rosberg's gone off into this bus stop chicane just on the exit. Has he got an engine failure or is he out of the race? I don't know. We're going to have to get a replay of this as they come now down towards Blanchimon. Hamilton is right on Rosberg's tail. So Rosberg made a move on Hamilton somewhere. Rosberg is being really pressurised down into the bus stop chicane. He's just locked up. He's just locked up the front brakes and he's gone careering off the circuit. And he's gone back onto the circuit. And then... boom, he's just stopped. And that's a nice picture, nice close-up there of Rosberg, but he tried to turn in, but of course, he's got to select reverse gear, and it takes a while to select reverse gear in an F1 car before he hits the barrier. So Rosberg, with a random mistake, being pressurised by his teammate, he's forced Rosberg into a mistake, and he's locked up going into the bus stop, and that's a silly error for Rosberg, especially in the wet weather conditions. Not something he shouldn't be doing, but it's lap 10 of the Grand Prix. We've got 2 laps to go. And again, my pursuit on the Ferraris is still ongoing. And we're trying our hardest. Going up Eau Rouge there. We're making a big mess of it. I struggled all race to go for up Eau Rouge, especially in the full wet conditions. But the Ferraris down the Kemmel Straight, I can see that they are scrapping with one another. You can see they are side by side. And I knew straight away, this is a chance. I need them to keep going side by side. And you can see how much I'm closing on the Ferraris because they continue attack. We're going around the right-hand side. And you can see the traction that they're losing. And we're just going to go straight to the inside. Brake nice and late. Raikkonen and Vettel left for dust. The 2 Ferraris scrapped so much that we have managed to sneak ourselves through and steal 2nd place in this Grand Prix. A fantastic bit of driving. I couldn't catch the Ferraris, but when they were battling, I closed up on them, and then when they stopped battling, they got away. But this time when they were battling, I was close enough to pick up the pieces from both the Ferrari drivers, and not only have we got into the podium positions, but we were 4th. We've taken both Ferraris, and now we're up into 2nd place in the Belgian Grand Prix. And remember, we started 12th in this Grand Prix, and we are already in 2nd place. A fantastic bit of driving and great capturing from myself there, taking any opportunities, staying back, letting the 2 drivers fight and picking up the pieces from when I knew they would start scrapping. But it's not over yet. We make a bit of a mess coming out of the corner, and Sebastian Vettel is going to be hunting us, coming round towards Blanchimon now. He is maybe going to try and Max Verstappen. He does not decide to do it as we come round to the second. Well, this is Blanchimon here, and Vettel decides against it. He doesn't want to fight me anymore, braking down into the bus stop chicane, and we are in 2nd place, and we just need to fend it off. Daniel Ricciardo has closed up massively, of course, due to all this scrapping as well, so I've got to fend off Vettel, Raikkonen and Ricciardo as it's now going to be final lap here, lap 11, a sprint to the end of the race. Lewis Hamilton is way out in front, but nothing actually happened. I managed to pull away just slightly. Lewis Hamilton now is going to come through, and he's going to take his 2nd win in a row. He won in Germany, and he also won here in Belgium. But we have had all the luck with us this entire race. The luck has just been absolutely amazing, and we come through to steal 2nd place in the Belgian Grand Prix. A brilliant result for McLaren Honda. Everything went our way in that race. We had a very cautious start. We didn't want to make a mess of anything. We picked up the pieces from everyone battling at the start. We focused. We stayed intact with the Ferraris. The Ferraris were definitely quicker around here, but I managed to pursue the Ferraris, make sure that I didn't get lost in the race. So luckily I managed to stay within 3 seconds of the Ferraris throughout the whole race. And then when they started battling, I was close enough to really capitalise. Raikkonen there seemingly happy with his 4th place. I wouldn't be happy with 4th place. There's potential 2nd place could have been on the cards for him. Hamilton wins the race. We come in 2nd with Vettel in 3rd. But yeah, we managed to pick up the pieces from the issues that Ferrari had with their own inter-team battles, and we take a fabulous 2nd place in this Belgian Grand Prix. So I hope you guys did enjoy the Belgian Grand Prix. Just like Germany, not a lot of stuff happened. It was probably more entertaining than Germany, but throughout this entire race, it was just me trying to stay with Ferrari and trying to make sure that everything is intact, and trying to basically run my own race. And I did it again, and today it has massively paid off for us. And as you can see, this is the final classification. So Rosberg actually fell down to 6th place after what was his poor mistake, and Button, my teammate, once again not scoring any points, whilst we are there scoring podiums for the team. So everything went well for us in that race, and as you can see, we remain 5th in the drivers' standings, closing up to Sebastian Vettel. Of course, with our 2nd place, and Vettel was 3rd. We managed to gain a couple of points on him in the Ferraris, as we are now trying our hardest to just get as many points as we can. Constructor standings, there they are for you on your screens. Again, we closed up, I think, a little bit on Mercedes, not too much though. And we're going to be skipping ahead to the resource points. And I do believe that there was a voicemail that came in from Emma at the end of this race. So I'm just going to let all these resource points come in, and then I'm going to shut up for a second and let you listen to the voicemail from Emma in just a second. So we're just going to let these ones come in, and then we're going to let the first the rivalry update come in. And Rosberg, I believe, is going to win this rivalry again, because he's going to get the fastest sectors and everything. Okay, so he's 1 point from winning, so he's definitely going to win in the next round. But there we go, we get back to first driver, and I believe the career score is going to be the next thing that we do for this race. So I'm just waiting for me to press continue. It would help if I did press continue at one point. Otherwise, we're going to be here for quite some time. But apart from that, I'm going to let you listen to the voicemail from Emma when she states it. And yeah, I'll be back with... Oh, no, there we go. I actually did press continue. I thought I didn't. But yeah, I'll let you listen to the voicemail.
Hi, Emma here. I had a sit-down with the executives today to talk about your progress. Long story short, they're happy. Keep it up.
So there you go, guys. The team actually seem to be impressed. I've never heard one of those voicemails before, but the team seem to be happy with how we're performing for McLaren. And next up is going to be the Italian Grand Prix in Monza. And as you can see, we've saved up resource points, and we've got an engine upgrade coming up for Monza. But yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time for the Italian Grand Prix. Take care. Peace.